Good morning, everybody. Sorry it's been a while, but my sister brought to my attention that some Bibles are missing verses in books even. And she brought to my attention that here in Matthew 17, you can see right here that it's missing verse 21. It goes from verse 20 to 22. And this talks about them not being able to drive out the demon of a boy's disciples because they didn't have the faith of a mustard seed. And the verse that's removing says something about in order to get that, you need to be deep in fasting and prayer. And I don't know why they would remove that, but that has me concerned. The Bible I was reading out was an NIV Bible, and it did not have that verse, but it did have a footnote at least. So we ordered new Bibles, but this one is a... NASB Bible, New American Standard Bible. And it's published in Nashville, Tennessee, and it looks like the copyright is the Lockman Foundation, a corporation, not-for-profit, La Habra, California, Lockman.org. I might have to look into that later, but God help these people if they're manipulating God's word, you know. So that, I'll try to make sure that that doesn't stop us from continuing our study of Ecclesiastes and just try to do the best we can to extrapolate what we can of God's word here. So to get caught up, we're in the book of Ecclesiastes, where he talks about everything is meaningless. The futilities of all endeavors are meaningless. Wisdom is meaningless. Pleasures and possessions are meaningless. Wisdom is meaningless. Labor is meaningless. There's a time for everything, which I thought was a pretty compelling section. The evils of oppression, which we're seeing that in our government today. And now we're on your attitude towards God. So chapter 5. Guard your steps as you go to the house of God and approach to listen rather than to offer the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they are doing evil. Do not be quick with your mouth or impulsive in your thoughts to bring up a matter in the presence of God, for God is in heaven and you are on the earth. Therefore let your words be few, for the dream comes through much effort, and the voice of a fool through many words. When you make a vow to God, do not be late in paying for it, for he takes no delight in fools. Pay with your vow, or pay what you vow. It is better that you do not vow than vow and not pay. Do not let your speech cause you to sin, and do not say in the presence of the messenger of God that it was a mistake. Why should God be angry on account of your voice and destroy the work of your hands? For in the many dreams and in many words there is futility. Rather, fear God. If you see oppression of the poor and denial of justice and righteousness in the province, do not be shocked at the sight, or one official watches over another official, and there are higher officials over them. After all, a king who cultivates the field is beneficial to the land. We're going to stop there since chapter 5 is kind of broken into two sections. There's some pretty interesting points in here, you know. Like this, don't be making vows you don't intend on paying there to the Lord. That's a big deal. I would be concerned about this. The king who cultivates the field is beneficial to the land. And maybe we're not seeing that happen so much here in America. Maybe we should be concerned about that. I don't know. And this is kind of the Burger King concept I call up here, you know. Guard your steps as you go through the house of God and reproach to listen rather than to offer the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they are doing evil. And so you hear a lot of these talking points from like lunatics And they're not smart enough to know what they're doing sometimes. And so it's kind of like being angry with the guy, the pothead at the Burger King, you know what I mean? And not realizing that he works for somebody. He's probably just doing what he's told. So either way, try to stay focused on the Lord and do the best you can, God be with you.